What's going on, fam? I'm Jada Black, if you don't know. I'm back. I want to speak about basically women who are in the streets entirely too long. Now, this episode is going to mainly be centered around Evelyn Lozada. Mainly because she not only is in her 40s, she has been in the sports circles as a girlfriend to athletes or fiancés or whatnot, but that she also is starting an OnlyFans account. And to top it all off, she has an adult daughter and a young son. Now, when you have women like this, right, who are in the streets way too long, they're been single way too long, they should have already been married off. Not to say that, she hasn't had her opportunities, but it just seems like it never works out. It's like the guys get cold feet. They realize, I really don't want to be with this person long term. Because if a guy wants to marry you, he's going to marry you. He's not going to play games. He's not going to be nervous. If he feels like you're with him for the wrong reasons, or he's not going to be able to benefit from that marriage, he's not going to do that. That's why a lot of guys, for the most part, don't pursue marriage. Because they don't see any benefit in it anymore. A lot of women, like there's a lot of women who don't believe in roles anymore. They believe that they can do whatever they want to do. That they shouldn't be limited, so to speak. So again, what's the point of marrying somebody if they don't really want to be in the house? They don't want to be at home, so to speak. And I feel like with somebody like Evelyn, she's somebody, again, she has an adult daughter, she has a young son. She's been engaged a couple times, but those engagements ended in disaster, especially with Chad Johnson. But now she is starting an OnlyFans, which is the popular thing to do nowadays. She had also just gotten baptized, I believe it was last year. So whenever it seemed like it take a step forward, it take 2 or 3 steps back. Now, again, I understand that, they feel like they have to do what they have to do. But when you're somebody who's been where she is, dated the guys that she has dated, why would you put yourself in a situation where you're relying on OnlyFans? I could see it with these young girls, because, all these young chicks, they broke. They ain't got no money, man. They not really doing nothing. They don't want to work. So them getting on those platforms, you can say it's typical. But when you look at the fact that you have women in their 40s, probably some of these chicks in their 50s getting on OnlyFans, it lets you know where we are in society when it comes to women. And the fact that you have so many of them flocking to these sites. Now, again, they can do whatever they want. I'm not here to judge people. I'm just viewing things from a certain perspective, especially for, a guy who is, who understands the way that men are thinking, especially millennial men are thinking, who are red pill. And we're looking at what's going on, and we're looking at the quality of women dwindling. Now, you do have a lot of attractive women out here, a lot of women that are in shape, they have college degrees, they have good jobs, right? But there's just something missing there. And a lot of times it goes back to whether they were able to have the right, I would say, growing up role models in their families, not on TV and music. I'm talking about fathers or father figures. Did they have the right men around them to help them? And we are in a situation where there is a decline in quality of women. There's a quantity. Again, there's a lot of attractive women out here, a lot of women with degrees and good jobs and to keep themselves in shape. But there's just something missing. There's something missing from today's women. And it's that attention bug. That attention bug has bit so many women. It's got even your average everyday woman who's a wife and mother, seeking to be on the platform. And one of the craziest things is that you have women, right, who will be married, have whole families, but they will still get on social media and do anything to get likes and to get comments. And you have to ask yourself, why would you go to this depth to get attention like this when you're a married woman, when you have a family? You're something, you know what I'm saying? And it's all about competing for the attention that they never really got before. They're competing for the attention that just wasn't there, but that's there now. And unfortunately, for a lot of these guys who are eligible, who are single, who are looking for somebody that is the right fit for them relationship wise, maybe even marriage wise, it just ain't there. They just ain't there. So a lot of times, a lot of us as men, we have to be realists, and we have to see things for what it is. And when you have women like Evelyn, a woman who's getting older, she has an adult child, you know, she has a young one, and they still think that the best way to go is to get on OnlyFans. I could see if you have these ex-video vixens, ex-video vixens have never been in any relationship with anybody that is worth anything. You know, they were in situationships, entanglements, but no relationships. You know, and they in the streets for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the young chicks out here that's ladies, they don't want to work, they don't want to do nothing. They got a degree though. You know. And then you got these women who were dating these athletes, and now they sort of on the outside looking in, because not a lot of these guys are not looking for women who are their mother's age. Because a lot of these young basketball players, football players, their mothers are the same age as Evelyn. You know? So let that sink in. Now, we all know that this is the new hustle for a lot of these females, and they've embraced it. You know, there was one female who I believe she also has an adult daughter. Okay. You know, she looks very well for her age. She looks like she could be in her mid to late 40s, but she has some big double D's. Okay. Might be E's. And she went from just posting selfies here and there to devoting her page now to promoting her OnlyFans. I mean, she's going full on attention seeker. And that's what's going on, man. And it's these older women, they are setting the wrong example for the next generation, because in those women, you got the young girls that want to compete with older women. You know, they say, hey, you know, they look better. You know, it's just like now you got all these fitness experts. You know, people who probably they themselves don't even know how they lost weight or got in shape, but they did. And because they look good in leggings, now they want to get on social media and teach other women how to look good, but they're using that as a front to basically be attention seekers. But again, I'm not against it, whatever. It's a career choice, but I'm just saying there's an attention Olympics going on, and women are going far beyond anything in order to show themselves, right? You got females that go from being college athletes to going straight into OnlyFans. It's like, you know, there are going to be quality guys that's not going to want to date you. And what's going to happen is you're going to get to a point to where you get frustrated and you want to blame all men and say how we ain't this or that, because they're not taking you seriously. They only seeing you, they're only seeing you as a, they're basically just seeing you for your looks. And they're not really seeing you for anything else. And what you have to understand is women are visual, men are visual too. Even though I know people say we're more visual than women, but I think women are way more visual than us, because a lot of times women will date a guy just off how he looks or what kind of car he drives, and no substance is needed until she's in a relationship and realizes this guy is not all there. Now, the thing with Evelyn, I truly believe she's given up on marriage and relationships, and she sees this as a way to continue to feel like she compete with other women, which is fine. But again, you want to be with somebody. It's in a woman's nature to want to be with somebody. Being single, a lot of these women don't want to do that. It's going to drive them crazy, especially if they feel like they still look good, they still got a nice body. They're still going to wonder why guys aren't checking for them. And when you continue to give, these guys a reason not to check for you, then you can only blame yourself. You're in these streets way too much. And you can't just wait to the last minute to want to get you a good man. You can't wait until you feel like you're undateable to all of a sudden settle, because what's going to happen is that's not even going to work, because mentally you still want to be in them streets. You still want to be in them streets, but you know that you have to give that up. You know that you're going to have to move past that. And there's a lot of women like Evelyn out here who just can't let the streets go. They want to be in the clubs. They want to be on social media. They still want to travel. They want to get flued out. I did a video, I think it was last year, of an NFL player who was dating an older woman, right? Who was in these streets for a long time. And he ended up leaving her to focus on football. She was just a fun time, but it wasn't going to be anything long term. You got to let the streets go. At some point, you're going to have to give it up. You're going to have to realize who you are and what your identity is. Your identity can't be in these streets. Your identity can't be an attention seeker. You have to want something better for yourself, because again, you have kids who are going to be looking to you, who are going to be doing the same thing. Like Evelyn's daughter looks probably like how she looked when she was younger, and maybe she still feels the need to compete with her, even though it's not really going to be a competition. These guys are going to want to date, her daughter over her, Now, again, this is my opinion on the women who are in these streets, the women who've given up, at least for right now. Because a lot of times they'll say, I'm good with being single, I don't need nobody. But then after a while, they're going to need somebody. They're going to want somebody, I would never believe them when they say they're good being single, because that's not true. A lot of them would definitely want to be in a relationship, but they either don't know how to go about it, or they just don't have anybody that's willing to get with them.